What's up, guys? This is Boondocks, and right now I want to talk to the new players out there. The guys that have gotten to the point in Warframe that they have been enjoying themselves but can't really advance by themselves all that well, and don't really have a group of friends to play with, or even your group of friends aren't able to advance. I'm going to talk to you about what to do. So, number one, get Rhino. Why Rhino? Well, that's because his second ability makes him one of the best solo frames in the game. Iron Skin makes it so that you have 2,300 more effective health, even with the very limited modding I currently have on him. So this entire setup is going to be about having no reactors on your warframes, no catalysts on your weapons, and zero forma spent anywhere, and still being able to do enough damage to clear decent leveled planets. So with Iron Skin, you're going to have the extra 2,300 health, which needs to be removed before Rhino himself takes any damage. Once this is removed, though, you could just recast it, and you're just fine again. Additionally, you have a 3-second invulnerability time period where any damage you take during that is going to add on more health to your ferrite armor. So the way that I currently have Rhino set up is just for tankiness. So extra vitality for survivability, as well as steel fiber, which is going to increase your amount of health on your Iron Skin, and just reduce the amount of damage coming in when you have it maxed. I then am going to put on a flow and intensify. If you notice, both of these mods are damaged, which you're going to get for free by completing the tutorial missions. Of course, I don't ever recommend leveling up a damaged mod, and instead just make room for an intensify later if possible. In all honesty, if you were to ask people politely in chat, they'd probably let you have these two things, no problem. But in all fairness, I'm just going to show using these two damaged ones. For my first weapon, I'm going to use the Bratton Vandal. Now, the Bratton Vandal is a beta only weapon, so most people aren't going to have it anymore. However, it's only slightly more damaging than the Bratton, and has a V polarity slot, which I'm not going to use. As far as acquiring the Bratton, all you need to do is buy one from the market. It costs 25,000 credits and gets deposited into your inventory that day. No waiting required. So the way I built my Bratton, as you can see, I'm not taking advantage of the V polarity slot because you won't have one on a standard Bratton. But instead, I'm just going to toss on a Serration, an Infected Clip, and then a weak Stormbringer. Now, I could use a stronger Stormbringer with a weaker Infected Clip, whatever. I can use any combination of elemental effects that I want in order to get increased damage. That's all I'm looking for. In all honesty, what would be better than having these two elementals, however, would be to put on a Split Chamber. As you can see, let me kick that off real quick. So I'd be losing 86 damage to gain about the same. In all honesty, I just prefer Split Chamber. That's me, and that'll be effective against all targets as opposed to just enemies that are weaker against corrosive. As far as my secondary is concerned, it's the Lex. The Lex is a nice little hand cannon with really good accuracy. So once again, I'm going to toss on a Hornet Strike that's max level, as well as a Convulsion and Pathogen rounds. So the Lex actually starts with a V polarity slot, and I can prove that by just clicking this. As you can see, I can't swap because I've never put a form on it. So with the V polarity slot, you could put on even a max level Hornet Strike, which would normally drain 14. Well, there you go. Then have on the Convulsion and the Pathogen rounds, because they're going to be easier to find than, say, Barrel Diffusion and Lethal Torrent, though in all honesty, I would much prefer having these two bad boys chilling on there to get to that nice 500 puncture, which is really nice when you pull off a headshot. However, since they're a little bit harder to come by, I'm going to rock the Convulsion and Pathogen rounds. Since you're probably not going to have a maxed out Hornet Strike, feel free to toss on something else like another elemental mod or something to increase your puncture damage, which isn't that hard to come by. All you would need is, where the heck is it? It's not that one. My bad, guys. I totally forgot which what the fuck the name of the puncture damage is. But yeah, there's a puncture damage mod somewhere to toss into here. As far as my melee weapons are concerned, I'm going to rock the dual cleavers, basically because you can make the dual cleavers really strong with purely common mods. I mean, I did toss on a extra elemental mod purely because I had the capacity, but with just a pressure point, organ shatter, and true steel, the dual cleavers become pretty strong. The reason being, the dual cleavers have a passive 25% crit chance, so with true steel on there, it goes up to 40%. And then once you put the organ shatter, you're going to be critting for 5.7 times, and then with pressure point, you're going to be doing a shit ton of damage. So even without that, what I would definitely recommend is if you can pick up the dual cleavers, which will be the hardest because you can't just buy these flat out. You'll have to construct them, and they require gallium. But if you manage to pick them up, what I recommend doing would be to find a stance mod, toss that on, run pretty much the same setup I have, and then find someone to give you a berserk or farm one up yourself, and then right away this weapon will be ridiculous. But with that and being a little bit out of reach for now, I'm just going to stick with this. And you know what, let's actually toss on a Fury for faster attacking. And right there, that's a pretty well-rounded start. I'm not going to have my carrier have any weapons, so that way he won't kill steal from me. And let's go show this off. Well, first let's check the market, and I can show exactly how to get this. So again, you're going to want the Bratton, which costs 25,000 credits, the Lex, which is going to cost you 50,000 credits, and then buy the blueprint for the dual cleavers, which, like I said, unfortunately is going to cost some gallium. Ask higher level players to help you farm for it. Maybe they'll bust out necros for you. An alternative to that, however, would be to build an Orthos. As you can see, the Orthos only require Morphix as your rarest item, and you can honestly get those from the early missions. As far as farming up the Rhino is concerned, again, it's one of the starting planets in Venus. Just kill Jackal Boss a couple times until you get all the pieces you need. Helmet, chest, and systems. So chassis, not chest. So to kind of show this off, let's head over to Uranus. And we'll go do this survival solo real quick and see how it goes. Again, this isn't exactly the highest difficulty mission, but by the time you get to Uranus, you'll already have your Arc-Wing, you'll have pushed down a couple planets, you'll have probably been playing long enough that you've picked up a reactor or two, so you'll already be a lot stronger than my character's currently set up as. So this is showing that even with the starting shit that I currently have, you'll be more than powerful, as long as you do it properly. So, once again, right away, just pop Iron Skin, let him try to attack me to actually gain armor, and then, as you can see, with this setup, I can cut these guys up pretty bad. I mean, not exactly the toughest enemies in the game, but they're definitely higher than most starting areas are concerned. And with this setup, they drop pretty fucking fast. There's the Lex for you, one-shot kills. Against tougher enemies, like say a Bombard showed up, you'd want to try to go for them headshots, because the Lex is ridiculously accurate, so pop. I have seen it at this current setup, critting for about 3,000 before, assuming it got on a headshot, so it's definitely not the weakest. Additionally, you never know, you could find a high-level player that's bored and has been playing for such a long time that will just give you a free Lex Prime, which is a level 0 mastery, and you can build for pretty much free, assuming they give you the parts for it. And it's considered one of the best weapons in the game right now, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot of fun. It's pretty much a hand cannon. So some other things that Rhino can do is like charge and blow up entire groups of enemies. So definitely don't be afraid of doing that. And just all in all, this is a really easy way to clear the early planets. That's how I did it. That's how a lot of people do it. And it's definitely what I recommend doing if you're a new player. So until next time, guys, good luck, have fun, peace. What a fucking ass.